So code enforcement said that I'm being a slumlord towards my stepson by having him live in a camper, but more specifically because he's not hooked up to the grid here. And so I'm going to have to hook it up, but I'm going to explain that at the end of this video. But in the meantime, I need to talk to you about all the arguments that he had and my arguments against what he had. And the crust of the argument from the code enforcement was it's cheaper to live on grid than it is to live off solar panels. As you know, we have 1,000 watts of solar panels, and I'm trying to run 2 houses off of. My electric loads include a well pump, which I power off a generator, 2,000, well, that one's 2,500 watt generator. Then I also have a freezer in our house, but no refrigeration unit in the camper. We have a gaming system. He's got a fan that has a light on it that he runs at night. We have a fan. I have a cell phone. Carolyn has a cell phone. I have a tablet for my YouTube channel, and he's got a cell phone. So I think that's all of the power that we use. Then we have this generator we just bought, and this generator sole purpose is to charge the batteries in the event the solar panels can't do the job because it's cloudy or short winter days, whatever the case is. But right now we're getting plenty of energy. It's not been that cloudy for probably the past week. So this is a real good experiment to see how things are going to go. In yesterday's video I showed you how we're going to run the generator so he can have an air conditioner, which I didn't mention. We haven't even ran the air conditioner yet. I've got it taken out of the truck camper here. I took it out yesterday. I've got it sitting in the well house. As soon as he's ready, I'll take out a window and put it in the camper. So the code enforcement's thinking is how much money did I spend on solar panels? You know, there's $1,000, let's say, in solar panels and batteries or whatever, maybe 2,000, it doesn't matter, but there's a cost involved. Then I've got $300 in this generator, $500 in that generator. So if I just hook up to the electric, it's gonna be 50, 60 bucks at most to have electric off the grid. And in that case, there's no worries that we're not gonna have enough electricity, and he will be perfectly fine no matter what the situation is. And then he also said, and you're not even including the price of the gas and the propane that you have to use. Okay, so he's right. I don't know if I've ever actually calculated all this out. What I do know is financially, I'm in better shape now than I was before when I had electric. Here's my thought process. First of all, I don't ever remember paying $50 or $60 for electric, because here's what happens. We get electric hooked up, and right now we only have those few items that I just mentioned. Well, of course, as soon as we hook it up, Carolyn's son is going to want to run his own refrigerator. It makes sense. So now we're providing more electric than what we were using before, when we don't really need it. It's just a convenience. That way he doesn't have to walk across to freeze his sandwiches or whatever it is he wants to freeze. And the thing is right now it's actually saving him money, because Carolyn just fixes him something to eat and we take it down to him. So he doesn't really have to buy his own food. I know that's a cost on me, but regardless, it's just, you know, Carolyn wants to take care of her son. That kind of makes sense. I don't have a problem with that. You know, she likes fixing a meal for her son. Fine. I don't know how long she'll do it, but in the meantime, it's free. Whereas if he had a refrigerator, he'd immediately go out and grocery shopping to fill the refrigerator. And what is he going to buy? Beer? You know, of course, you got to buy beer and sodas. You're going to buy sodas. So you got to have all that, which he doesn't have right now. And you're going to fill the freezer with what? Oh, junk, ice cream, who knows? Stuff that you don't really need in the first place. As you know, Carolyn and I are carnivores, and you know, we feel like it's a very healthy diet. Well, then, of course, eventually I would start using the electric. It just makes sense. It doesn't matter who's paying for it. Let's say I'm paying for it. I'll start using the electric. And of course, I will not want to run the well off the generator, because I got to run to town to get propane. I'm not even saying that the electric's cheaper than buying the propane. I think the propane cost is actually pretty cheap, because I get this military discount. On the generator, I spend probably $12 a month on the well. And I know for a fact that when I had a well and I was hooked up to the electric years ago, it was $25 a month. Automatically, we're going to spend double the amount on the well if I get rid of the solar panels and hook up to the grid. And I know I would do it because this last winter, the generator didn't want to start. It was so cold, that propane just didn't want to start. And so I ended up having to take the generator inside with all that smelly fuels and oils. It stunk up the house for a bit and it had to warm up. So I could start it outside, of course, to get the water out of the well. Well, if I had electric, you could guarantee I would have skipped that whole thing and I'd have just plugged right into the grid. Her son has a microwave. We don't use the microwave. He could. We actually have enough power to power that microwave. We have a pure sine wave inverter. So he could absolutely run it, especially right now when it's nice and bright and sunny like this, no problem. And it would be free electric. But he doesn't, because it does put a drain on the system. Not that it's a big drain. His problem is he doesn't understand the conversion, amps and volts and watts and all that. And it's just easier for him not to run something than it is to try to figure all that out. We actually listed different scenarios on how when he would need the generator and when he can run off the solar panels. So like right now, does he have the ability to run the TV in his gaming system? Yeah, he could do it right now. But he didn't think he could. He thought he had to have the generator. So he could run the microwave. But if he had electric, of course he would run the microwave, because now his freezer's full of Hot Pockets. Then he throw it in the microwave and he had a Hot Pocket at midnight when he gets home from work, instead of something, that's good for you, like canned meat that we canned chicken or canned pork or whatever. Eat Hot Pocket, of course. Not only are we raising the cost of the electric, which was supposed to be $50 or $60, we're raising the cost of healthcare, because you're going to be sicker eating Hot Pockets over canned chicken, the chicken that we can, or the eggs, or whatever it is that we're eating. It's just easier to throw something in the microwave, eat it, and be done with it, instead of seasoning it and flavoring it and getting it to, or even canning it, which he doesn't have to do. But there is more cost. Now you got the healthcare costs. And my dad has always said, you've got to consider healthcare cost. If you have to go to the doctor, there is a cost involved. Oh, I got insurance. Well, do you have co-pays and all that? Of course, Carolyn and I don't go to the doctor. So the financial risk to us isn't so much financial, it's death, because we're not going to go. So we try to stay healthy. Of course, then Carolyn would start to think, what would be really cool? A wash machine. I don't even know if Carolyn would say it would be really cool. Carolyn's pretty adamant she doesn't want one. I've offered one to her before. We could run it off the generator, I'm sure of it. We could actually get one of those little apartment size ones. I've had one of those before, and I know that one would run off the generator quite easily. Probably could even run it off a small one, but she just refuses to get it. But if we had actual electric, I'm confident that I would just go out and buy one. I wouldn't even ask her, I'd just go out and do it. I'd hook it up, she'd have a wash machine. Now we have that electrical cost. So now he said that I have to consider the cost of the generator in comparison to the cost of the electric grid being hooked up, $50 or $60. Well, no, I just bought a $200 or $250, let's call it $300 just to make the math real easy, a $300 wash machine that's going to use electric, which is going to cost me more money. So didn't that just cancel the cost of the generator? I can look at society and I can look at myself and I can say society's become spoiled. They cannot do anything that we could do 100 years ago. I can't live without air conditioner. Gotta have air conditioner. Just gotta have it. Can't live without it. Of course, I say, well, we live without air conditioner. Yeah, but you don't live in Florida or Mississippi. It's too hot. You can't live down here in that. I know I watched movies back in the day. There's movies. And they would sit out on the porch, fanning themselves, Southern Bells, whatever. They didn't have air conditioning. So yeah, you can live without air conditioning. You can put more clothes on than you can take clothes off. I hear that one all the time too, because it's easier to live in the wintertime apparently, because you put more clothes on. But more people die from winter-related health injuries, freezing to death, hypothermia, those kind of things, versus heat injuries. Heat injuries, all you got to do is drink water. And see, there again, society has gotten so spoiled, they don't even realize that you should drink water instead of sodas or tea or alcohol. All that stuff is not healthy, it's not hydrating you very well. I always say, and it's going to be kind of disgusting, but when you go to the bathroom and it's yellow, you're not getting enough water. It should be clear. Carolyn and I drink water all the time, and when I go to the bathroom, oh, I need more water. It's just that simple. That's how I know I need more water if I'm not thirsty. Oh, you can drink too much water, you get water poisoning if you drink too much. You gotta drink gallons of that. I'm talking about 5, 6 water bottles full. So now you're drinking soda instead of water. So there's your cost. It keeps going up. Just everything keeps adding up. Because you don't want to run the air conditioner, you're drinking soda, your cost goes up. Her son wants to run the air conditioner during the daylight hours. Now, that's the thing, is he works in the evening, so evening, nighttime hours. So during the day, he gets up later in the morning, late morning. So he wouldn't even have the air conditioner on. He'd go to bed without an air conditioner on, gets up, I don't know, let's just call it 10 o'clock for the sake of argument. I don't actually know what time he gets up, but it's later in the day. So then he kicks on the air conditioner, and he kicks it on for 7 hours. And then he goes to work, shuts the air conditioner off. He doesn't need it while he's at work. However, if he had electric, you can easily say, I'll just kick on the air conditioner to cool it off tonight, because if he had to kick it on at night, he would have to go outside, start a generator, which we don't even have a generator right now that would run an air conditioner. So we'd have to buy the generator. But if he had a generator, he would have to go outside, start it up, hook it all up in the dark to turn on the air conditioner. Well, it's a lot of work. And so the inconvenience of turning on the air conditioner is like, well, I just won't turn it on. But if you got electric, what are you gonna do? It's a little warm in here. I think I'll just turn on the air conditioner. Instead of opening up the windows and turning on a fan, I'll just turn on the air conditioner. And so this cost that I'm being told is too expensive has just went up in cost. Carolyn is very stingy when it comes to money. I mean, absolutely the stingiest person that I've ever seen when it comes to money. And I love her for it. Saves us a bundle all the time. And she was saying that when she lived in a trailer, mobile home, they would run the air conditioner. Her electric bill was $250 a month. I don't know how much our electric was. I never really paid that close attention to it before I met Carolyn. I really couldn't tell you. When we were working all those hours, I've told you that before, we work, get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, go to work at 6, wouldn't come home till 8. We wouldn't run the air conditioner. So I could say that our bill was relatively low, but I would shut off the air conditioner while we were gone. And during the winter, I would turn the heat down all the way to 50 degrees. So we just never use a lot of electricity. And I think our electric bill was probably around $100. So that's still more than $50 or $60 a month. The way I look at it, let's just say I spent $2,000 on my solar panels. On all of it. The generator, let's just call it $3,000. So $3,000, we've been here 3 years. So if I'm spending $50 a month for 12 months, what is that? That's $550, $600 a year on electric. So in 3 years, that's $1,800. So basically in 6 years, everything's going to be paid off around here because I'm not spending any extra money. Now, the gasoline, you could argue the gasoline. So, I mean, if I was really get into the economics of it, and do the cost analysis real even keel, it would take maybe 7 years. Regardless, it's not going to take that long. But part of that is that we're just not using any electric. That being said, that's also not taking into account that we're going to start adding things to our lives if we were hooked up to the grid. It's not $50 a month. It's more like $100 to $250 a month. And so when you start looking at those kind of costs, we've paid for everything here in 1 year. So I don't agree with this guy who commented that he is a code inspector and that we are in violation of codes in his area, apparently. Because here, I don't think we're in violation of anything. I mean, I've looked at the codes. Other people in the area live in campers and small sheds. So no, I don't think we're in violation. I don't think I've seen anybody running off solar panels exclusively, but I've not really looked either, so I couldn't tell you one way or another. But I don't think you have to be hooked up to electric in this state. And that being said, it is not cheaper. There's just no way it's cheaper. Especially the way he broke it down, that I got to include the generator cost, the actual purchase of the generator. So if you'll click this up next box, take you to a video where I was talking about only got a few days to live. So I hope I can inspire you to reduce your electric use so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.